Well, hello there, and welcome back. I am Jamin V, and this is episode 2 of my 1.14 Let's Play. In my last episode, we did some basic resource gathering, and we went to the Nether, and we did some enchanting before I got blown up by a creeper in midday, and we ended the episode. And I got a lot planned for this episode. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it all in, but let's see what we can end up with. So between episodes, I did some fishing. I finally got the perfect rod. So that's awesome. That said, I'm probably pretty close to done fishing. There's not much more that I can get out of fishing any longer. That I can't get better in other ways. I finally, after all of these other bows, I got an infinity bow. And I got these two that are set up that'll bring it up to power 5, flame, infinity, and unbreaking 3. I just need to combine these. I don't want to spend the levels just yet, and just a bunch of... I got more saddles than I'll ever be able to do anything with, and I'm jumping in a campfire. And I did some mining. You can see my pickaxe is taking some damage. Actually, almost 2/3 of the way down. I got some, quite a bit of resources. I'm going to take these ones with me and throw those in the furnace. And silk touch mining, you don't get a lot of experience for, but you get a lot of stone, and that's kind of cool. So I've set up some resources up here. I'm going to start building a house really, really soon. And so I've got some stone and other things. So I got just smooth stone here, which is pretty awesome. And I did the environment a favor, and I chopped down a bunch of trees and didn't replant any of them. You're welcome, Mother Nature. So I got a bunch of wood there. I'm probably not going to use the birch for this build, but it's there just in case. And I got a lot of spruce. There's some cool spruce trees, so I think that is definitely something I will incorporate into the build. And I haven't reorganized my chests yet, but because there's no point. We're gonna set up our house, and then we're gonna reorganize the chest. And I got a few new friends. I got these horses right here. There were some horses out in the field, and I just have a ton of saddles. Might have a use for them as early as this episode. I'm not sure if they'll be really useful, but I'm gonna find out. And then I got a couple of good boys that were over here in the spruce forest, and so they're just chilling out here. And then I've brought some sheep. Let's actually breed these sheep up. Well, I got wheat on me, and let me throw this stuff in here. Get that going. And I've got some sheep. I killed all but 2 of the cows, keeping them around. Oh, I must have just bred them. I don't remember doing that, but okay. So we're going to need to make some beds. Probably quite a few beds fairly soon. So we're going to start this episode by building a house. So let's just jump right into that. I started out this build by just clearing out a large flat area that gave me enough space to put the house in. And then I started laying out the foundation. I wanted to work around the sections of the house that I had decided I wanted. I decided I wanted a small corner where I'd have an enchantment set up. So you see I built that first and then laid the section of the house around it. And then I want a relatively big section where I can put a bunch of chests. And then I decided I wanted a second story that I could put the bedroom in. And I wanted that second story to not be the full size of the house. I thought that would look a little bit more interesting. And you notice the foundation isn't rectangular. It's got a lot of different shapes to it that make it more visually interesting. And then I started experimenting with a bunch of different things. You saw I experimented with a back porch, and that didn't really work. And I did quite a bit of experimenting with the walls to just come up with something that worked. And I wanted to make each section of the house look a little bit different, but still enough similar that everything kind of ties together so that, there's a lot of visually interest, there's a lot going on, but it all ties together really, really well. And then once I got everything figured out there, I started working on the roof. And I spent quite a bit of time on the roof because the first roof that I laid out here in a second just didn't look quite right. And I needed to break it up quite a bit. So I decided that I went with this A-frame style of roof on basically all 4 directions. I tried it in just the 2 directions. That didn't really work. And I had to do quite a bit of experimenting to make this side of the roof work together really well. And I think I finally ended up figuring that one out. You see, I tore apart a section of the roof and then redid it. and it's an interesting style. And then I had to add the last A-frame to the back of the house as well, and then clear all the extra blocks and scaffolding up. And I think everything turned out really, really well. There's still more to be done. I've got some details that I want to add. I want to add some details outside the house, maybe a path down to the river, maybe a path through the back, and some interior decorating and stuff like that. But this took me quite a while. There was a lot of experimenting, a lot of testing, a lot of tearing things down and rebuilding. So I'd like to move on to the next thing for now, and then I'll come back and add all the details later. So let's go on the tour. So we got the front door. We got a little enchanting room right here. This isn't going to stay. So this turned out really nice. We got this big living room area. This is just going to be a bunch of chests for now. I'm not going to use this base forever. As my base. I'm eventually going to make another base somewhere else. So I'll like decorate this as an actual living room and maybe like a little dining room back here or something like that, or something like that. Once I pull all the chest up and I stop using this in my base. But for now, this room's just going to be filled with chests. I'll add a little bit of decoration and maybe some lighting and stuff like that, so there's not torches all over the floor. But for now, it's just going to be a bunch of chests. And then we got stairs going into my upstairs. And we got a little bedroom, and I'm going to give myself a nice big bed with a view out into the river, which I love these windows. I think this looks really, really cool. And then I got a little closet here so I can put my gear and precious stuff and stuff like that, and a little crafting table or furnace or something like that in there. And so this is the upstairs. So we got the basics that I need. We got a bedroom, we got a chest room, and we got an enchanting. And that's really all I need right now. And then there's a back door back here, and that leads up into the nether portal and the farm and that kind of stuff. So really, really happy with how this turned out. Before I move everything over, I'm going to need to get the experience out of these furnaces. I've done quite a lot of smelting in these things, and I haven't grabbed the experience now. And now these things store experience. So I'm just going to come back here. This is what I was going to do at the end of last episode. And we're going to place 2 redstone torches right there so that the furnaces won't grab the items. So when I smelt just like 1 stone, as soon as that finishes, it'll stay in here, and then I can grab that out and I'll get all the experience all at once. So that moved me from 27 to 29, which is actually quite a lot of experience. Of course, I just wasted a lot of coal there. Well, oh well. I've got everything moved over and sorted into chests, and I have tons of extra storage. I'm not even using close to half of this. I am blocking some windows, but those windows are useful to break up the outside wall. So it doesn't really matter that I'm blocking them from the inside. I've moved my good boys in here, and I've got, a couple of rugs to break up the floor a little bit. I've lit everything up without torches. Might revise some of it, but for the most part it looks okay. I've made myself a giant bed. I'm not quite sure about this. I might try and tweak a couple small things here, or build it out of some other material or something like that. I definitely want another material for this nightstand here. I'm thinking scaffolding might look pretty nice. I've done a little bit of decorating outside. I've got some little bushes here. I got a flower planter over on this side. I got a couple of bushes straddling the door back here. I'd like to add a little bit more, and I'd like to add some custom trees around the area. I tried placing a custom tree up here in front of the house, and I was unsuccessful. It did not look right, so I tore it down. I'm going to have to try that again. Definitely need something green or colorful on the front of the house somewhere. But for the most part, I think it's a pretty good start. So now it's time to deal with these levels. So I'm still getting Unbreaking 3 here, and I'm torn. Unbreaking 3 is a pretty good enchantment. It might be nice to have a nice utility pickaxe. I think the chance of getting fortune is pretty low, but I've only got 2 extra levels, so I don't get many tries at trying to get fortune, and I might not get any better than the Unbreaking 3. So I'm gonna give it a go. and hope that, alright, I got a utility pickaxe, which is good. This one's getting pretty low. I'm probably going to have to repair this. I also used up most of the rest of my levels to combine together this bow, which is a pretty awesome bow. I got 7 levels left. And I've got this book and quill here. So let's open it up. These are the things that I would like to go out and find. I need to find a village. I need to find a jungle. And I need to grab these items from it. I need to find a desert. And from it I need a cactus. And I'd like to find some acacia wood and some dark oak. And then these are some nice to find things that if I find them, I'll just mark down where they are. Yeah, I'm going to go on a little bit of an adventure. I'm going to go looking and see if I can find any of these things. I'm going to start by taking one of these horses. I don't know if it's going to end up being a liability. I might just abandon it. You know, like if I get stuck with a big ocean or something like that, I might leave it behind. But I'm going to start off. I'm going to try and use the horse and see if it'll make it a little bit faster. Alright, I found myself a village. It is actually not that far. Well, I guess it's kind of far. My base is up in the upper right hand corner of the map, you see. So there's like a little baby villager. I'm going to do a little exploring, see if there's anything else of note. Otherwise, I'll just move on, mark the village on my coordinates, and come back and steal some villagers at some point in the near future. What is happening here? I just accidentally dismounted my horse while climbing up this hill. And I can't find it anywhere, but it's doing that. I've never seen it do that before. Alright, apparently my horse is back from the ethereal plane. And we can continue on our journey. Here's another village, much further from home this time. And my horse just vanished on me again. Hopefully it pops back up again. I'm pretty sure that's my horse in the distance. I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently disconnecting and reconnecting brought my horse back. So I'm off again. Nothing really of note in that village. I don't know why this works, but apparently if you have a horse on a lead and you get in a boat, it will just follow you and float on water. I discovered this on accident. Apparently if you go too fast and the lead breaks, it'll just stand on water. So I made my way back after a pretty mediocre trip, but I found a third village that is halfway between the two. It had a lot of villagers. So the first village, the closest one, only had 3 villagers. So if I go there and they've died or something like that, I have a backup village. And I found some dark oak, and I didn't find any of these, but I did find a couple of gravel hills that I marked. That's about it. Not too exciting. I was going to enchant a shovel, just like a level 2 enchantment or something, but I noticed this. So I crafted another diamond pickaxe and I checked it, and sure enough, I can get Fortune 3 on my next pickaxe. So I guess I'm going to be using a bunch of iron shovels for my next step. I'll be back for you, Fortune 3. So I didn't find a proper desert on my adventure, but I did find, and I noted in my book, there's a gravel hills and it has a bunch of sand in it. So I crafted this tunnel right here that leads to it. It's not very far in the nether. I'm just after the sand right now, but the gravel will definitely be useful later. I've got a bunch of glass smelting now, and before I get started on my next project, I need to do something with these levels. Just being realistic, I'm probably going to die on my next project. So I'm going to do a short mining session, then I'm going to go to the nether and get the last few levels. And then I'll finally be able to get that fortune pickaxe. Alright, here we go. Let's see what else we get on top of this Fortune 3. Alright, no one breaking. Still not too bad. Time to go crack these diamond ores. I got 2.5 stacks of diamonds. Pretty much perfectly average. So I'm here at the nether fortress, and this is probably the worst part. I gotta block the spawner from spawning anything. These torches are gonna help a little bit, but they're not really gonna do it. Basically, I gotta fill this whole section with blocks while blaze are spawning in around me. I did die once, as predicted. It's kind of hard not to when you're trying to work and things are spawning around you. But I did get this whole thing covered in dirt. I used dirt because I want to be able to come back with a shovel and not have to worry about breaking the spawner back there. I've got kind of a worst case scenario here because this spawner here is completely surrounded on all four sides by netherrack. So it's going to take a lot more work. I got to dig down another 12 blocks after this. And just from this, my pickaxe is already really, really low. So I'm probably going to have to repair it a couple of times. Well, on the bright side, it turns out I don't need to dig all the way down. On the downside, this is why. So was able to pull together enough resources. I have a couple of potions of fire resistance, so if anything knocks me down, I'll be all right. It's still going to be a pretty treacherous to do all this. So I've got everything dug out, and I need 3 slime balls for the build. Fortunately, I found a swamp on my adventure. What I didn't notice was this right here, a witch hut, complete with a little black cat. I'm going to mark those coordinates down. I've got the chamber built, and I've got the crusher built, and there's still more to do, but I can do that while mobs are spawning. So the next step is to go up there and dig out all that dirt. This is pretty much everyone's least favorite part. The second I break in here, they're going to start spawning immediately. So I'm going to start by drinking one of these fire juices and pray that everything works out well. Alright, I got everything set up. I got myself a working blaze farm. I had to go mining for more stone, which is amazing because only the facade here, only the first layer is stone. Everything inside of here is netherrack because it was a lot cheaper, but it's still, there's a lot more blocks here than it looks like. And I needed more stone. I had plenty of netherrack, tons and tons of netherrack. I still got 2 chests full, but stone I needed to go mining to get more. So this is one of Nembaum's fun farms, and I think it's actually one of the coolest ones because it's so simple and so elegant. I'll put the link to his video in the description because he explains much better than I'll even try. I understand how it works perfectly, but he describes it really, really well. I don't want to, and he deserves a lot of credit for all the work that he put into this farm because it's a very, very cool farm. And so this is the version that is more AFKable. There's a chamber here where the blaze will all fill up and they won't get entity cramped, but because of these blocks down here, they'll be drawn towards this wall. And then there's a crusher here, so they'll all be at 1 hit point. So I can AFK for up to about an hour, and anything after that, there'll be so many blaze that it'll start getting really, really laggy, and it could possibly even crash the server. So I don't want to do that. So it's semi-AFKable, but I think you get a lot of experience if you just AFK for an hour. I'm not sure how much. Might have to find out. Alright, it's been about an hour, and it's starting to lag this server a little bit. Not too bad, but if you were playing on an actual server with other people, you might not want to let it get to an hour. You might want to stop at 30 minutes to 45 minutes. We should have somewhere around 500 of these. Wow, this is... I had to turn particle effects off a while ago because it was getting pretty bad. Yeah, we got 364 entities, it says. It might be missing some of those. But I'm going to go ahead and kill these. You'll notice I also have the volume of the hostile mobs turned way down. But I'm going to go ahead and kill these and see how many levels I get. I'm still already at 37, so if I get up above 42, I'm going to be pretty happy. I rocketed right past 42, and I'm at 49 levels right now. It was a bit choppy killing all these guys, though, so realistically, I think I want to stick to like a half an hour AFK, come back, kill, and then I can AFK again. I just have to check back twice as often as I planned. Otherwise, it gets pretty darn laggy, and that was pretty hard to bear. And I cleared this out just before. I got these ones in my inventory, but I got 2 1/4 stacks of blaze rods. That's pretty good. I mean, this isn't the best, experience farm in the world. They're much better out there. But for the early game, it's pretty darn good. And since they basically nuked the Pigman AFK experience farms, it's one of the best out there for the early game. I ended up AFKing for quite a while longer. Now I got 77 levels and a half an inventory of blaze rods. I've got some diamonds here. Let's do some enchanting. Got a little picky about what enchantments I wanted. I needed Respiration 3 so I can take on an ocean monument relatively soon, and I just couldn't get it, so 77 levels just wasn't enough. So I came back here, and I set up a little enchantment station right here. I can, all the way up until this block, I am still, the spawner up there is still active, so I can reach everything here. There's a grindstone hidden back there. You can barely see it, but it's there. I've done, I don't know how many levels I've used up, but it has been a lot. And I am almost completely out of books. So, and I'm running low on lapis, so it's been a lot. This is my old equipment. I've got efficiency 5 now on both of these pickaxes. And I added Unbreaking 3 to this one. I think I have another efficiency book that I could add to that one. I don't know if it really matters for fortune, but I got a really good set of armor here. And I got a bunch of new equipment. I got 2 more new utility pickaxes. These are both efficiency 5. Another silk touch pickaxe. A fortune 3 diamond axe. Also efficiency 5. Diamond shovel, efficiency 5. And 2 swords. This one's smite, so this is going to be a wither killer. This one's sharpness 5. They both have looting 3. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. So I think I'm going to end it there. I think I've achieved a lot this episode. I got a nice little XP farm going. Got a good set of equipment. Got myself a new house. I'm pretty happy. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.